Photo credit, Gabe 25,591. The Premier League may be failing to deliver late-season intrigue in anything other than the race for 6th place, but the championship isn't a league which does boring finishes. Jorge Mendes' pet project Wolves have confirmed their return to the top flight, but with 3 weeks of the season to go, at least 8 teams can still be said to harbour realistic promotion hopes. With a game in hand and a point advantage over third, Neil Warnock's Cardiff City look a good bet to tie up 2nd place. But who has their noses in front in the race for the playoffs, and who will fall on the final straight? Under Slavisa Jokanovic, Fulham have continued to uphold their image as one of the most entertaining teams in the 2nd tier. Their goals for column is bettered only by table-topping Wolves, and the January edition of Newcastle's Alexander Mitrovic has been an inspired one, with the Serbian already notching 10 goals for the Cottagers. Tom Kearney has orchestrated things from the centre, and with Ryan Sessegnon's exceptional form thrusting the 17-year-old into the conversation for World Cup places, Fulham certainly have the feel-good factor which can be important in the playoffs, but 3rd place is not always a comfortable finish. Fulham have their playoff spot in the bank already, but if they fail to make up the ground on Cardiff, an extra 3 fixtures at the end of the season can make for a disappointing end. Brighton and Reading finished 3rd in the last 2 seasons and neither found their way up via the playoffs. Fulham will hope their momentum doesn't lag if faced with the prospect of a trip to Wembley. Villa's wide men have been the star men this season, with Albert Adoma scoring 14 in the league and Robert Snodgrass posting the same number on the assists board. They are one of a number of teams to have looked a good bet for 2nd place at one stage this season, but with a 4-point deficit to make up, they now seem sure to finish in the playoffs. In players like Lewis Graben, Jonathan Kojia, and Jack Grealish, Villa have the attacking quality to hurt any team in the division, but it is perhaps the presence of John Terry which will give Steve Bruce the most confidence going into final weeks of the campaign. The former England captain is no stranger to Wembley, nor to the latter stages of knockout competition. His unparalleled experience could help this talented squad over the line. The rest of the chasing pack are headed by Middlesbrough, but theirs is not a camp brimming with confidence. Expected to challenge for the title, Gary Monk's early season experiments cost him his job, and Tony Pulis is still yet to win over the majority of the fans. Their recent win against Bristol City is their first over one of the promotion chasers this season, and their next 2 fixtures against Derby and Millwall will make or break their season. Patrick Bamford is back to his best, and Adama Traore's unique talents can light up any game, but centre-back Daniel Ayala has been the real star in recent weeks, with only Bamford and Britt Assombalonga ahead of him in the club's scoring charts. They may not always thrill, but the shrewd signing of Mohamed Beshic in January has given Boro's midfield an added ability to choke and counter-attack. Combined with Traore's ball-carrying skills and Bamford's finishing, it can be a potent combination, boasting top championship talent in every position. Boro fans will be hoping their frequently unconvincing side have been saving their best until last. If not, Pulis' position could well be in jeopardy. The surprise package of the season, Neil Harris's Millwall are unbeaten in the league in 2018 and have stormed up the table in the 2nd half of the season. Their momentum, though, will come in for some stern tests in the final stretch. With Fulham, Middlesbrough, and Aston Villa still to play, Harris will have to squeeze every ounce of effort from his players, as he has done so impressively already this season. They have earned their current place in the top 6. Jed Wallace, Lee Gregory, and Steve Morrison have been excellent, but their rarely changed starting 11 has fostered a team spirit and understanding which has seemed to carry them to victory at times. Tim Cazorla's return in January was a boost for confidence, and his experience will be useful in the coming weeks. 3 cup finals might be a cliché, but it is apartment. This has been their finest season in living memory, but now Millwall have to prove that they are worth their spot at the top end of the table. How do you solve a problem like Derby County? Their ability to throw away positive starts in the 2nd half of the season has turned into something of a self-fulfilling prophecy, and the Rams look in real danger of shooting themselves in the foot again. Monte Vidra is the division's top scorer with 19 goals to date, but Derby won just once in February and March, and recent results have included resounding defeats to the bottom 2, Sunderland and Burton Albion, 4-1 and 3-1, respectively. However, Gary Rowett at least has the luxury of a game in hand which could take them back into the top 6, with the fixture list this season showing a real propensity for late 6-pointers. They still have Middlesbrough, Cardiff, and Villa to play, with a tricky final day fixture against a Barnsley side likely to be scrapping for survival at the other end of the table. At this point, it is a test of man management for Rowett. Derby's fall has been a drawn-out process, with the defeat to Burton seeing them drop out of the playoff places for the first time since November. Now, there is a sense of inevitability that they will continue to stutter. Their reputation for self-destruction will weigh heavily on the minds of players and fans. Their fate is still in their own hands, but it would take a brave punter to put money on them being the team to go all the way. A further 4 teams still have the top 6 in sight, with just 4 points separating Borough and Millwall from Bristol City in 11th. All 4 will have to rely on other sides slipping up, but the inevitable team that comes out of nowhere is one of the apparent features of the league. Preston, Sheffield United, Brentford and Bristol City are the 4 who will hope to make that impression, but they are running out of time to do it. Bristol City seem the least likely to do so, with their hopes dashed by defeat at Middlesbrough this weekend. They now have just 1 win in 5, with their early season optimism having been chipped away during a fall from grace kicked off by a damaging defeat to Wolves in December. With half an hour to play in that game, they had looked like closing the gap at the top to 5 points. They now trail the leaders by 30. Preston have put a bad recent run to bed with back-to-back wins, while Sheffield United proved their pedigree in the last week with 4 points against Middlesbrough and Millwall. Brentford's late equaliser at Fulham was the goal which saw Wolves promoted. Meanwhile, and with favourable fixtures to come, they will be hoping of putting together a late charge of their own. Want to share your opinion? Why not write for us? Previous post next.